Ah, the lovely NSA at work. Every time I talk about the government and the corruption, all of a sudden in the middle of my video, it just stops for no apparent reason. I guess they think I'm going to get frustrated and not continue. Well, it's just going to make me speak even more truth because it gets more and more frustrating, and I'm just going to make sure I speak more about what's going on. So if you're watching this, it finally went through, so I appreciate you guys watching. And if you see by the title of this video, it's basically talking about the debt ceiling, and we really need to start educating the sheep because they have to really stop paying attention to ridiculous things like iPhones, which, by the way, you need a fingerprint scan to make it work, which means now it's just making the NSA and the government's ability to spy on you and be able to get your thumbprint, which is one of a kind, by the way, and match it to your face and who you are and where you live, your credit cards and everything. You're just making it that much easier. So, people might as well just stand out in the middle of the street and say, taser me and throw me in jail. It's easier that way, so let's help them along. But if you listen to what the TV's talking about and what the government's trying to do again, they're using fear. They're still doing the crying wolf thing that people just don't seem to get. It seems like every time you can cry wolf, the average idiot out there will say, oh my God, the wolf is coming. Even if 5,000 times before somebody cried wolf and it didn't happen, they just have what I call the goldfish memory. Goldfish has a memory for about 3 seconds and then totally forgets what it's done. That's what the average person is like, because if you've seen what they've done with the tapering, notice how they didn't do that, but they said all year they're thinking about doing it, and the media presses that in and makes it lodge in your head because that's all you talk about. People who know what's going on know that's not going to happen. So it's a hello McFly moment. They've already done the debt ceiling problem. Well, let me give you a little education about the financial system. And I say that with as serious a face as I could say without trying to laugh. The Federal Reserve, which is a private-owned bank, owned by billionaires, ones that we don't know about, are the ones that are not donating money to the United States of America, not handing it over to the United States of America. They are loaning it to the United States of America. So we borrow not even real money. They type numbers out of thin air because I would love to know where they're getting all this money from. We have already a over $16 trillion debt, and they're going to just type more money. Can anybody please explain to me out there in sheepland? Now, I'm not talking about the people watching this video who get it. I'm talking about the sheep who just have more important things to do, like talk about the latest football game and the iPhone and ridiculous things that make no sense and fall for the same thing over and over again. If they can please explain to me where they're getting all this money from. But instead of us as a country making our own currency, which would logically seem to make sense, we borrow money from a private bank and we don't even know who runs it. That should be a flag right there when you don't even know who is running a bank that your country is borrowing money from. They can print as much money as they want because all they have to do is type numbers and print, maybe 1% of it is actual physical money. The rest of it is just typed in a number system. So there is no need for a debt ceiling. They use that to scare people and to control them. Because if you actually think the government is going to shut down and they're going to lose all that extra income that they earn behind your back for 1 second, you are crazy. They've done it before. They've done the threat, and of course, they have all year to take care of things. But they don't solve it until the 12th hour, the stroke of midnight, and all of a sudden they work together. So in other words, they jerk you along for as long as they can, scare the living hell out of you, thinking that you need this and that you won't research. You'll just be scared because the television told you so. They string you along, and then it doesn't get done. Look what they did with the tapering. They can't take it away because it's like having a heroin addict and you're feeding it heroin. With any addict, if you're an alcoholic or a major drug user, you know that you are dependent on that alcohol or that drug, and as you go on, you need more and more of it. So the right thing to do is to get them to go cold turkey or at least wean them off of it and eventually get them off of it. The problem with that is you will go through a painful withdrawal. Same thing with the economy. We need to stop feeding the system with all of this debt because we're not earning money. Anytime they say the economy's doing well, I would love somebody to have a credit card, max it out, get another credit card to pay for that credit card, max that one out, get another credit card to pay for that credit card, max that out, and so on, and tell me you're financially stable. But yet our country is supposed to be in a recovery. How do you do that when you're $16 trillion in debt? And the only way you could pay off the interest alone in that debt is to borrow more money from a foreign bank. How do the sheeple out there not get how much of a scam this system is? So they use these things to control people. So this way, when you're at your office and you're at the water cooler and you're talking to your friends or coworkers, you say things like, oh, did you hear about the tapering? Oh, did you hear about the debt ceiling? They program this in your head. The sky is not falling. There is no wolf. They do this out of control and fear, because then they can get whatever they want out of you. And if you think the government is actually going to shut down for even 1 second, you have no clue how this government really is run. It's all about stealing as much property as they can, stealing as much wealth as they can, getting as much power as they can, and getting as much control over the people. That's why they are buying the mortgages that you are paying. The government has been paying $85 billion a month and giving it to Wall Street and the housing industry. So they've already bought your house, and yet you're still paying for it. Well, here's the thing. If they can borrow any amount of money they want from a private-owned bank, which they seem to do, and they have no problem doing when they try and start wars with places like Syria, and next they'll try Iran if they can't get Syria, so watch that if there's not a false flag that comes along. If they could print any amount of money they want or borrow any amount of money they want, why don't they go to each individual homeowner and say, we've bought your mortgage, you no longer owe what you owe on your house. Merry Christmas. Well, wouldn't that help the economy if all of a sudden millions of people who owned homes no longer had to pay their mortgage because the government bought it all up for them? But no, they give the money to the mortgage companies who pocket all that money and continue to send you a bill. But people want to worry about their iPhones. They want to worry about what the Cowboys are doing and how the Yankees are doing. And you know what? I'm a diehard Yankee fan, or at least used to be. But I can give a rat's ass about them right now because I don't want to be one of the stupid people distracted by a bunch of nonsense and propaganda while they steal our country from underneath us. So if you don't think this is going to affect you, well, you must have inside information, or you must be connected to some kind of politician, or you must be one of the problem people, because even police that are pepper spraying the people and keeping people from peacefully protesting, any of these lower-end government officials who are trying to pass these ridiculous laws because somebody's, greasing the pockets, these people are going to be affected too. And that's why in places like the times like the Great Depression, even millionaires lost everything. Because if you have $1 million worth of crap, then you have $1 million worth of crap, which is nothing. So people need to understand the debt ceiling, it's not going to change. There is not going to be any tapering. And that is why you will see, well, you know what, the other part I'm going to talk about in another video, because otherwise people won't know about that. So I'm going to make another video about where gold and silver is going to be coming soon. And you see a nice little dip today. It's a good buying opportunity. I will always say that, especially when I am getting my gold and silver to protect myself against the eventual problems with the U.S. dollar. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, unless we are going to be the only time in recorded history where we've done the same thing as everybody else, and even though 100% of the time everybody else failed, all of a sudden we'll just pull it out at the end. I can't believe how ridiculous the average sheep are. And the sad part is, the sheep aren't going to watch this video. They'll never even know it exists. The people who watch this video are the ones that already get it. Maybe 1 or 2 people might stumble across it. Maybe another person will share it with a friend. But the average people that watch this video, and I get an average view of 200 to 300, are the people who actually do get it. So I'm glad that there are at least that many people who get it. But until the masses get it, we are going to continue to get screwed. So sharing videos like this, making videos like this, getting out information is going to awaken the people. And if we eventually awaken enough people, maybe one day people will say, well, the hell with the iPhone, the hell with what's going on in football, or what the latest pop star is doing if they're twerking or something ridiculous. Maybe we should actually care about what our government is doing before it's too late. But I can't believe how utterly ridiculous the average person is out there and how they just don't care. They listen to the television and believe whatever they're programmed. So I'm going to tell you right now, the government is not going to shut down. There is not going to be a debt ceiling. It will be raised again. They're going to continue to borrow money because they use fear to get what they want, and you're going to pay for it. So if that doesn't piss you off, eventually it will. When gas is $9 a gallon and a loaf of bread is $100 and you can't pay for anything and you're going to be ended up relocated in a new facility because the government wants to take care of you, you know, there are different definitions of the word taking care of someone. You know, if you take care of a grandmother, you're helping her. But if you're a mafia person and they tell you to take care of somebody, guess what? It's not going to be like what you're doing to help your grandma. So people really need to understand that words have different meanings. So yeah, they'll take care of you, but not in the way you'd really be appreciating. So I'm going to leave the video at that before it stops. Thank you for watching, and as always, please share, please like, and please comment. Keep it adult, let's not be children. And even if you don't like me and what I say, find a way that we can all work together so we can actually stop the divide and conquer and actually work as a society, as a nation, as a world, so we can all do something positive. You don't have to like me but understand that I'm here to try and speak as much truth as I can and try and awaken the masses from this idiotic theft that's happening right in front of our eyes. So let's not make this petty. Let's all find a way to work together. We don't agree with each other. Let's find a way to get that to change. Thanks for watching. Peace.